Bright QT. Every student matters.
Hello dear students, welcome to another lecture. So in this lecture, we are going to learn about the degrees of comparison. Now we all understand that degrees of comparison, when we talk about degrees of comparison, we are talking about adjectives. Yes? What is an adjective? Adjective is a describing word. Now there is a separate video which has been recorded on the topic of adjectives. So I would suggest you go through it and then move on to the degrees of comparison. So adjectives are the describing words. Words such as tall, beautiful, short, intelligent, smart, wise, happy, grave, and so on and so forth. So these are the adjectives, these are the words that describe people. Now degrees of comparison, there are 3 degrees of comparison. We have positive degree, comparative degree, and we have the superlative degree. Now let us learn about all these 3 degrees one by one. Positive degree is that where we talk about only the subject. For example, Ram is smart. Now, what is the adjective that I have used to describe Ram? Smart. There is only one noun, there is only one subject I am talking about. So, since I am describing only one person, only one subject, therefore, I will use the positive degree of comparison. If I give you more examples, Sarah is very intelligent. What is my subject in this sentence? Sarah. And what word am I using to describe this girl? Intelligent. So since there is just one subject I am describing, so my adjective is in the positive degree. If I give you another example, my handwriting is neat. What is my subject that I am talking about? I am talking about just my handwriting. So, one subject I am focusing on, therefore, my adjective is in the positive degree, that is neat. If I give you another example, Rohan is very naughty. What is my subject that I am talking about? Rohan. So, just one subject I am describing, that is why my degree of comparison is positive. On the other hand, when I talk about comparative degree, as the name suggests, what does this indicate? This indicates comparison. So, this indicates comparison between two things. Okay. If I am comparing about two subjects, when there is a comparison which is between two subjects, we use the comparative degree. And one word that is always going to be used in the comparative degree is than. We always use than to compare two things. For example, let me take the same examples but now in a comparative form. Ram is smart was my positive degree. Ram is smarter than Rohan. So, here I am talking about two subjects, Ram and Rohan. I am striking a comparison between them. Since I am striking a comparison, therefore I have used the comparative degree. How do we make comparative degree? By either adding ER to the end of the adjective or adding more to the beginning of adjective. That I will tell you soon. Let me look at the second example now. Sarah is very intelligent. If I change it to comparative, Sarah is more intelligent than Seon. Two subjects I am talking about, Sarah and Seon. Comparison, than is used, so that means it is a comparative degree. And as I told you, there are just two ways of changing positive to comparative. We can either add ER or we can add more to the beginning of the adjective. We all know there is no word as intelligenter. So, in order to change intelligent to comparative, we will make more intelligent. Okay? Let us look at the third example. My handwriting is neat. If I say, my handwriting is neater than hers. I am talking about the handwriting of two people, mine as well as hers. So there is a comparison. I have used than also, which indicates there is a comparison. And what is my comparative degree of neat? Neater. That is why I used comparative degree. Let us move on to the last example that I used for positive. Rohan is very naughty. So if I say Rohan is naughtier than Karan. Two people, two boys I am comparing here, Rohan and Karan. Since I have used than, since there is a comparison which is drawn, that is why naughty becomes naughtier. Alright, so positive degree we only talk about one subject and the adjective remains same. Intelligent remains intelligent, naughty remains naughty, smart remains smart, beautiful remains beautiful. Comparative degree, we make a comparison between two subjects. There will always be than that will be used in the sentences. And I can change an adjective to comparative degree by either adding ER, IER or more at the beginning of the adjective, as you have seen in the examples. Now let us talk about the superlative degree. Now, as the name suggests, superlative means the best, which is the highest form. So, it talks about the highest form of the adjective. It talks about a quality which is there in its highest form. There is no comparison to that. Superlative degrees will always have the before the adjective. This is the way to identify whether a sentence will have comparative degree or superlative degree. In positive degree, we know if there is one subject, the degree is positive. Comparative degree, if there are two subjects and than is written, it is comparative degree. And superlative degree, how do we identify? If before the adjective, the article the is used, it is superlative degree. Let us look at the examples. Ram is smart was my positive. Superlative of this becomes Ram is the smartest. When I say the smartest, that means there is nobody who is smarter than Ram. Okay, that is why I said it is the highest degree, it is the highest form of adjective. And the is always written before my superlative degree. How do I change an adjective to superlative? Either by adding est to the end of it or adding most at the beginning of the adjective. For example, the second one, Sarah is very intelligent. How do I change it to superlative? Sarah is the most intelligent. Since, as I told you, there is no word as intelligenter, intelligentest, so how do we change it to superlative? By adding most before the adjective. So, most intelligent. And again, the is used, so I know it is superlative. Let us look at the third example. My handwriting is neat. What is the superlative of this? My handwriting is the neatest. Again, the is used, so I know superlative and the degree of comparison is neatest. The last example, which was Rohan is very naughty. The superlative of this becomes Rohan is the naughtiest. So, what did we learn, dear students? We learnt that degrees of comparison are about adjectives. There are 3 degrees of comparisons: positive, comparative and superlative. Positive degree of comparison is when there is one subject that we are talking about, and since there is one subject, the degree of comparison is positive and the adjective remains in its original form. There is no change in the adjective whatsoever. When I talk about the comparative degree, as the name suggests, comparative degree means comparison. So, there is a comparison that has been drawn between 2 subjects. So, there is going to be a comparison and the word than will always be used. There are 2 ways of making to change an adjective to comparative, by either adding er or ier or adding more before the adjective. More intelligent, more hardworking, so like this. The third one was the superlative degree. Superlative degree is the highest form of the degrees of comparison, and your superlative degree will always have the before it. So, this is going to be your indication that superlative degree is to be used in this sentence. The only way to change a degree of comparison from positive or comparative to superlative is either by adding est, smartest, naughtiest, tallest, neatest, or by adding most with the beginning of the adjective. Most hardworking, most intelligent. So, this is how we make positive, comparative and superlative. So, my dear students, this is a very simple grammar topic, and I am sure once you learn all these tricks that I have taught you, it will be easier for you to answer the questions. So, I am going to pause here now. I hope it was clear, and now I shall see you all in my next lecture.